equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex.
Ratify the ERA!
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
How simple it would have been had the Founding Fathers written a constitution that made all men and women equal. But they did not. For over 200 years, equal rights for women has been unfinished business for the Constitution.
It took me a long time to realize that I wasn't covered by the Constitution in the same way as a man. We the people didn't say just men, but that's how it was applied. I want an equal rights amendment to give women what men have as their birthright.
A revolutionary call for equality sounded in Seneca Falls, New York, at the nation's first Women's Rights Convention.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal.
A crowd of 300 listened intently as Elizabeth Cady Stanton called for the country to grant women the same rights as men, and as a radical first step, the right to vote.
For what shall we first petition? For the exercise of our right to the elective franchise. The grant of this right will secure all others.
Her staunch women's rights allies were the abolitionists, especially Lucretia Mott and Frederick Douglass. But the country wasn't listening. It was heading toward civil war. At war's end, women saw a rare opportunity. Congress proposed a 14th and 15th Amendment to the Constitution, giving former slaves citizenship and the right to vote. Give women the right to vote as well, Stanton and Susan B. Anthony demanded. Give us the same rights you're giving black men, said Sojourner Truth. But Congress said, no, petition denied. Though they gave their lives to the cause, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony died without ever casting a legal ballot. By the 20th century, thousands of women had moved into the workplace. Many led the call for progressive reform, demanding greater protections for women and children. By 1916, they had generated enough mass power to finally mount a mighty campaign for the vote. Carrie Chapman Catt led the National American Woman Suffrage Association, Alice Paul the National Woman's Party. Many millions, young and old, fighting for their constitutional rights. Alice Paul's controversial White House picketing led to attacks, arrests, and imprisonment that aroused the nation's conscience. Finally, in 1919, by the margin of a single vote, Congress passed the Women's Voting Amendment and sent it to the states for ratification. 1 year later, the final state ratified by just one vote. In August 1920, the 19th Amendment granted American women their first and only constitutional guarantee of equality, the right to vote.
Our victory cannot be a signal for rest. It is not only the symbol of the new status which women have earned, but also the tool with which they must end completely all discrimination against them.
To Alice Paul, the right to vote was just the beginning. In 1923, on the 75th anniversary of the Seneca Falls Convention, she held a second convention to launch the campaign for an equal rights amendment to the Constitution.